All right. Hi there. It's Anna, founder of Women's Only Health and Fitness Club, We Are Fit Attitude. And today I'm really excited to have Christal with us. Christal joined WAFA in May of this year, so very much when we were into lockdown. So Christal has only ever known WAFA in the online world. And so Christal, what I'd like to do is, before we start talking about what life has been like since We Are Fit Attitude, what was life like before then in terms of your health and well-being?
Well, before lockdown, I just started running, and I did park runs on a Saturday, and I never knew I could run, so I quite enjoyed it. And then COVID happened, and so I realized that I was a social runner. You know, I liked going on a Wednesday and joining a group. And so COVID happened, I started to get COVID curves, and you know, the pounds got on, and I wasn't going out, even though, you know, we were texting each other. So I was, you know, so that was in March, so a couple of months I could feel the pounds piling on, and feeling lethargic and tired, and just wasn't doing enough active. I was doing home yoga lessons, but not really, you know, not anything energetic. So I wanted to do something, and I joined in May because my sister-in-law, Judy, it was her birthday, and she was doing the 12-hour challenge for St. George's, and I thought, well, she didn't want presents, so I thought, well, how can I, you know, join her? And I joined her for 2 hours on that day, and really enjoyed it. You know, it was a breeze, because 2 hours is nothing compared to what others did, which is 12
hours.
Yeah, exactly. And Judy did 4. And so I liked it, and I joined for that reason. And I looked at what WAFA was. I didn't even know she joined, and I knew it was in her church hall. So I looked it up, and I thought, I could do this, and I could do a 6-week challenge for 6 weeks just to get my energy back. I needed something. I knew I needed something.
So, so you joined our 6-week program, Body Fix in 6. Can you remember those first 2 weeks? Because I remember the check-in, so I'm not going to, I'll probably bring it up if you don't, but do you remember, what was your biggest challenge when you started with us? Do you remember I
don't think I had challenge with I mean, my muscles awakened, so I liked doing the sessions, and, you know, I didn't think that was in the challenge for me. But then it was talking about the food, you know, and I didn't realize that I was so concerned about my weight. And so, you know, and I said, well, I'm a sweet addict, so there's no way I could possibly, you know, stop eating sugar. And really that was the discussion. But I found the lessons invigorating. I thought it was easy. I just needed to roll out of bed 10 minutes before and go down in the kitchen. So it was a breeze, you know, in that sort of way. But the food bit I was like a bit nervous about, because I've never done a diet, not interested in the diet, but I didn't realize I myself was worried about my weight.
And so I guess, that's exactly what it was. Do you remember when we had that check-in, and you were sitting there saying, I'm a sugar addict, but I want to lose weight? And you kind of had this sort of thing going on in your head of knowing that you had to not give up sugar, but make some changes. And we agreed as a group to stop doing sugar or refined sugar Monday to Friday, didn't we? And I think that sort of triggered something for you, didn't it?
Yeah, it was. Well, I realized I did eat a lot of sugar, and my excuse was, you know, around 10 o'clock I'd have a couple of shortbread biscuits. And it was a habit. It wasn't necessary. I didn't want it. It was just a habit. I kept on doing that. So, you know, I thought, I can do this. I can do Monday to Friday, and, you know, have some fun in the weekend. So I went for it, and I realized by Friday I did want something, and it was Cadbury's chocolate. That was the only sweet I wanted, was Cadbury's chocolate. And I waited till midnight, you know, so I did complete the Friday. And yeah,
set the alarm to wake up on Saturday morning at midnight.
I was staying up, you know, I was staying up until midnight. And you know, it was relatively easy. I did think about sugar, but it was relatively easy. to do that. So I've carried on doing that Monday to Friday.
And that's, so what's happened is you're not restricting yourself from having sugar, but you are giving your body the space during the week to just have sort of normal, healthier choices, and then have that treat at the weekend. So it's not about saying, I'm on a diet and I'm not allowed it. Well, we all know that as soon as you say you're not allowed something, what happens? You just crave it like crazy.
Yeah, think about it like crazy. And I was thinking about it, but I thought I knew that everybody else was doing the same thing. So that was one. And I thought, I can do this because it's not forever. And I think the way that diets are, it's like, you know, you're completely starving, and I just couldn't see myself doing that. But for a little period of time, you know, 5 days out of 7, I could do that.
And so you completed the 6 weeks, and then when we sort of got towards the end of the 6 weeks, or I think it was just when you'd chosen to move into monthly membership, you kind of hit another stumbling block, and that we had another call, do you remember? And you said, I'm, for whatever reason, you know, I'm working out as hard as I can. You were doing something like one of the workouts every day, and you were walking, and you were saying, I'm still not losing weight. So you'd cut out the sugar during the week. It was minimal sugar, but you still couldn't quite work out what was not working in terms of the weight loss. So do you remember we had
I kind of was like, well, what now? You know, so I could do the 4 days a week. I was doing 4 actually, so you'd maybe do more, but I was doing 4 days a week, and and I could feel my calves getting, you know, stronger. That was the biggest thing, was my calves. Yeah. But I didn't feel like I was losing any weight, and I needed to do something different. So you and I went on a one-to-one call, and you looked at my diary and realized that I was eating too many carbs. And that was because I was grabbing at lunch. You know, I wasn't preparing for my lunches. I was just going downstairs, eating some olives, a few crackers and some cheese, and thought I was really healthy because it wasn't that bad, you know. But I realized that I was carb heavy. And so we discussed about planning your lunches. And lunch, well, I've been doing that for 3 weeks now. So now I have salads and a bit of fish or tuna, and I have I like roasted vegetables, so I just roast some vegetables at the beginning of the week, and that is really my food for lunch with some protein. So I've been doing that, and I don't snack really. I might have a piece of fruit or something, but I don't snack. So yeah, I think that's made the biggest effort really, is that.
So you've basically, and I think this is just really important to note, and it's not about, we're not about low carbs and no carbs in WAFA. It's about the right balance of carbohydrate. And what was happening was that you weren't eating foods that were nutrient dense, and the carbohydrate was the crackers, which are just kind of, you know, they haven't got anything good in them. So it was about, and also the really important thing was planning on the Sunday and preparing your meals. So there is some good news out of all of this, isn't there?
There is good news, because then we did the 28-day challenge, and I did the wrong thing in that you said don't make it too challenging, and I did make it challenging for myself. I had a list about 10. Yeah. But one of the things I did was continue with the cut out sugar, stopped alcohol in the week. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday was alcohol. Didn't eat after 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock might be late, but I work in the US, so I work late anyway. So I didn't eat anything after 9 o'clock. And then I did my exercises, did some walking, and drank lots of water. So the water has made a difference. We've got to say that, but the 1.5 litres of water, I didn't realise how little I drank. And so that's made a difference as well. So at the end of the 28-day challenge, I've lost 5 pounds. But I got to say, Anna, I've lost 8 pounds today. So I'm really that's that. So I've carried on. So after the 28-day, I've just carried on, you know, with the basics, which I think I can do. And I've lost some more weight. So it's continuing.
I think that's wonderful. And I think that it's what's so lovely about this is that you haven't given up. Because I know that there was a lot of frustration, and I knew that, you know, my view is it's about us unraveling or understanding what your behaviors are at that moment, and then trying to find different solutions instead of saying, here's a meal plan, I want you to follow this for XYZ amount of time, and yes, you will get results, because I would say no alcohol, no sugar, you know, all of that for 6 weeks, but after 6 weeks, what have you learned? Okay, we all know that if you cut out alcohol and you cut out sugar and all those things, you will lose weight. But the reality is that, you know, you like to have a glass of wine, you like to eat some chocolate. So actually it's about, we have to tweak what you're doing so that those treats become treats rather than them becoming a daily thing. And that's what you've really learned. And the other thing I think was the fact that you'd recognize that by eating just an extra 100 calories a day beyond what you were targeted to eat in a day was another reason why you weren't losing the weight. So I'm really, really proud of you. I hope you feel a real achievement as a result of it. How do you feel today compared to when you first started with us?
Yeah, I feel like I'm on a different level. I feel that now I want to have Michelle Obama arms. So no, I've got the
push-ups.
What I want, the push-ups. So I feel like I want to shape a bit more. So I think it's the shape.
The next goal. I like this.
So, you know, and I'm going to carry on with how I'm managing my food. Yeah, and I'm feeling like my clothes feel a lot better. I feel more energetic. So yeah, I'll go, you know, and then at the end of the month again, I'll set something else. So I'll continue doing something different. What I didn't achieve in the 28 days, I want to try myself at standing at my desk a bit more, and, you know, so trying the things that I would challenge, what I was challenged by, which were standing at my desk really and going to bed early. But otherwise, I'm just going to carry on.
Well, that's the whole point. So what's happened is that the stuff that you've put in place now is becoming normalized. So it's almost becoming habitual. It is becoming habitual. I don't think you'll ever go back to eating crackers and olives for lunch again, and cheese.
No.
You know, so you've created
I do like them.
Pardon?
I do like them, but I know that's not my lunchtime food, you know, so I know it's not going to be my everyday food.
Exactly. So, you know, that's what I mean, is that now that you've got that bit right, the next phase is, you know, the fact is you do work in a very stressful job. It's long hours, you're sitting at your desk. And as we all know, we're more sedentary now than we were. I know we are technically out of lockdown, but we're still more sedentary, because we're not, I'm not traveling to work. I'm still at home. You're not traveling either. So I think you're absolutely right. Now that you've nailed the food, and obviously you've got to work on those Obama arms, that's no problem. I'll bear that in mind. But you know, stress is another, and poor sleep are another contributors to weight gain. So I think now you're right, you know, that sort of standing up out of the desk, we're looking at your sleeping patterns, and maybe what you're doing before you're going to bed is the next challenge. But you can do that now because you've kind of got the food nailed, haven't you?
Right.
Yeah,
exactly. I can focus on something different, you know. Not I think it's the habit is what has made me realize, because I just thought about diets and, you know, that having to go for a diet, I just know that's not me, but having a different habit and change of habit has made me stick to it. So now I've got this habit, you know, it seems easy to carry on.
And it's not a habit that's not allowing you to still enjoy the things you like. It's just everything. We've changed the balance so that whereas before you might have one day in the week where you didn't have any sugar because you were feeling guilty, or, you know, now you're only having sugar as a reward for not having sugar for the most part of the week.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So anyway, I'm really proud of you. And so the next goal is really shaping. I mean, you know, pretty shapely anyway, but the Obama arms, we can definitely work on that. Absolutely. So I always end with one final question. Well, I always ask you to imagine you're telling somebody who's like, oh, I've heard about this WAFA, but I'm just not really sure. What would you say to them to encourage them to take that leap of faith?
I just think just do it. I just think it's so simple, and I think the simplest thing for me is you know it's a good thing, this online. You could just literally roll out of bed 10 minutes before, you know, push your chairs back, put some gear on, and it's over and done within 45 minutes. You can see other women that are working out, and the instructors say your name every now and then, so you feel a bit, you know, you feel a bit energized when you hear your name coming out. And yeah, there's a sense of community. So there's information on your internet site, on the WAFA site, about food, about the exercise, you know, encouragement, the check-ins. It's all there. So for 6 weeks, just see how you go. I just don't know what you've got to lose, really, for 6 weeks. And if it doesn't work for you, then you've tried it. But I doubt if something hasn't changed after that 6 weeks. You know, just do it.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much. And I cannot wait for the next 6 months, or I better think about the right exercises. You do realize, well, I'm going to be blaming you if everyone's telling me that their arms are killing them. It's not my fault, it's Christal's fault. She asked for Obama arms, so that's what I'm giving her. No, but thank you very much for sharing your story. I really appreciate it.